What up, what up? Late Night Live, episode 34. We got a Leakrian in the house. Good evening, fellow talentless freaks. It's a term of endearment a Concord developer gave us. Not an insult, I promise. Thank you for that, Leakrian.
I'll take it.
We got a good show for you guys tonight. Who we got here? We got Travis is here. How are you, sir? Travis, can you hear me?
Is he present?
Starting off good.
All right, Dathan, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. It's a long week. I'm ready for the weekend.
Okay, good. Chris, Ace of Jacks Media Grounds. How are you, sir?
I'm good. It's been a fun week.
Good.
And,
We can get into our VHS porno collection, you know.
Wow. Okay, it was a really good week.
oh, yep. Sand Spirits is here to see me sparkle like a sexy vamp.
Wow. Yeah, that was pretty wild. How you watched the whole movie, and you put that up on your channel.
Yep.
You went there.
And I'm right now on the first part of the last movie.
Oh, okay.
The next thing you need to do is you need to go to like the locations up here in the Northwest. You need to go to the spots. That's what you need to do.
Go to Forks.
Well, that's what when we went on our family camping trip this year, my niece wanted to do was she wanted to go to all the twilight spots because we were camping up by Astoria.
What up, Gallagher Guy 88 in the house?
Hey, buddy.
Eric, how are you, sir?
I'm well.
Doing well.
evening,
Excellent. Tonight we got a good show. All the Gamescom announcements, at least the ones I thought were interesting. So a couple big ones from Microsoft I want to go into, and a couple of the games they announced. We want to go into how we display our games because Eric was interested in that topic for tonight. And I wanted to talk about resellers, buying old games from resellers. Seems like there's been a couple of YouTubers that have made videos about it. So I want to give my 2 cents on my thoughts, and I wanted to give you guys a chance to talk about it and what you think. I don't know. So does it? Do you think it's slimy? Does it piss you off? Whatever. So yeah, should be a fun time. Chris, have you found yourself more attracted to men after watching that? I'm assuming that's
Only
the
if they're 119 years old.
okay.
Anything below that age, it's all women. But
Yeah.
after 119, ooh, baby, give me
You
some of that old man juice.
Oh, thank you for that.
yeah, I'll have to. Oh boy, that might be a difficult one for me to clip. But we'll go on. Travis, did you play any video games last week, sir?
I did. I bought Uncharted 4, and
Ooh.
I guess the sequel, or like the paired one to that, the Lost Chapters or something like that. So it was a 2-in-1 sort of thing. I started playing Uncharted 4, and then I also have been splitting time with Grim Fandango Remastered.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Cool, awesome.
recommend
one-
both.
The soundtrack to that game's amazing.
Yeah, Uncharted 4 though. Uncharted 4 is a lot of fun. I really like it thus far. So yeah, I haven't played an Uncharted game before, new, but I like that style of the Tomb Raider-y sort of thing. And they did a great job with the voice acting thus far. So yeah, so far I recommend it.
Nice. Dathan, any video games last week, sir?
I did. I played some NWC on the Switch, and then I played a little bit more Doom, and I tried the God of War Valhalla DLC. I just did not. I could not get into it. Just wasn't that big of a fan of it. So, that's pretty much it. Getting ready for Star Wars Outlaws next weekend.
Oh, you're gonna get it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Ace of Jack's Media Grounds. Did you play any video games last week?
Yeah, I
VHS.
NWC, Black Myth Kong,
Oh, you've been playing that?
PlayStation 5. Yeah,
How do you like it?
That's an amazing game.
Really?
It's an action game. It's not. There's a lot of people I've seen calling it a Souls game, but it's not. You don't lose your experience. You don't lose anything. The boss fights, the boss fights are kind of frustrating at times, but it's because it requires you to kind of use everything available to fight the bosses. I also tried the demo for that Imio Smiling Man on the Switch. It was supposed to be that M-rated game that they had announced, and then it came out that it was a detective like visual novel style game. And I started playing that, and 5 minutes in I was hooked on it, and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand why I'm like enjoying this when it's just a visual novel. But yeah, that's what I've played so far this week.
And Eric, any video games last week, sir?
I played some more Link's Awakening. I'm still stuck, and I need to call the Nintendo Power hotline.
What are you stuck on?
I can't get the walrus to move. At the the fourth level or so, there's the bottom right hand corner of the map. There's a sleeping walrus that blocks your way to get to the dungeon.
Okay.
So I don't know how to. I thought my initial thought was because when you talk to him, he's like dreaming, and there's a couple icons of a girl. I went and learned how to play the girl tune on the ocarina and went down there. I thought that would wake him up. It didn't. And then I just got pissed and stopped playing. Which, again, is all part of the nostalgia of playing Zelda, so mission accomplished. And then I played a little bit of Nintendo World Champions. Yeah. That's it.
Okay, cool. Everyone, it seems like a lot of you guys still playing Nintendo World Championships, so that's good. I've been trying to hit that up every Monday to play the new challenges for the week and see how we did. And it was cool that a lot of us got first place in the balloon fight one.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no faster time than the time we got. So
Yeah,
that was cool.
143. 143 is the time. That's
It's
the
too
upper
bad.
end.
Yeah, it's too bad there's like not a specific pin you get for getting first place or top 1%. But I don't know. Maybe they could do that in the next update. That'd be cool. So let's see. It's Galaga guy wants to talk about Xbox, so let's get into it. The big one was this one.
What if I told you there was a connection between
and the Indiana Jones stuff? So we're going to PlayStation 5, you guys. Is there any point to owning an Xbox anymore?
I mean, I'm still gonna play it on. I'm gonna play it on Xbox.
Yeah,
probably.
let me skip ahead here. The game looks good. The more I've seen of it, I don't think I've heard Eric or Travis talk about it.
No, it's been out of my radar, but considering if it's in the same vein as like a Tomb Raider style game, then it might be right up my alley.
I think it goes from first person to third person, depending on
Does
the mission.
it?
I think
Okay. Yeah, because that looked a little confusing there for a second. That's well, and like that too, but that would be fine. I mean, it could just as long as the story's well done, I could be well into something like this.
A Galaga guy, I think I'm right at like 7 minutes 11 seconds, and I'm sure a leaker will butt in and say he's at 6 minutes something, beating it. But then we saw the guy that got first place a couple weeks ago. He beat it in like 5 minutes flat. So then it kind of got discouraged after that. But right here, so there's going to be several versions of the game. So obviously it's on Game Pass. If you want a physical copy, so here's your options. So you can get this version, and I guess if you pre-order it, you get the suit from the Last Crusade, and you get his Lion Tamer whip. That might be from Last Crusade too. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, and then this is the $100 version, and I originally was going to pre-order this, but this isn't exactly a steelbook, which kind of threw me. It's just kind of like a brown Xbox case, I guess. And then with this, you get a digital art book, which no one will look at, and the Temple of Doom. Yeah, no one looks at that. Give me a break.
No.
The Temple of Doom outfit, and you get the 3 days early access. So,
and then you had. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, Dathan, you had me a little intrigued though, because you said that you would still play it on Xbox. Yeah. What would bring you, if you have both, what would bring you to the Xbox over the PlayStation for this game specifically, or for any of them? Because to answer, going off the original question, which is there a reason to have an Xbox, right?
I actually prefer the Xbox controller over the DualSense. I just like I've played more Xbox than I have PlayStation games, so I'm more comfortable with that.
Okay, cool. I was just curious. You had me stopped there when you defined it as I was going to play it on Xbox. Going back to that original question, yeah.
Galaga Guy 88 says it should have come with a little locker you can put nothing in. Yeah, that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, look at that. Yep. Little mini fedora.
And then here's the Grand Poobah. So if you want the collector's edition, and you got to order this from Bethesda.com, you get the official Steelbook. So I kind of want this thing just for that Steelbook. Maybe I'm crazy.
Have you checked Best Buy to see about doing pre-orders? Because sometimes Best Buy, if you pre-order it, they'll give you a Steelbook along with the physical game. Sometimes they did that with like Cyberpunk and Marvel's Avengers and that might be something to look into.
Well, there's still time. I mean, this doesn't come out till December, so I wouldn't be
Right.
surprised if they offer something. The All-Maker Relic replica with game code. So if it's like the Starfield Collector's Edition, whatever that was,
Mhm.
it didn't come with a disc, but it came with a credit chip, and on the back of that chip it had the code for the game that have everything you needed. So I'm thinking that's going to be what that is. And then you're going to get the Great Circle Globe with hidden storage. So Chris can store his drug paraphernalia in there.
Put your weed in there.
Yeah, hide it from the wife. And then, you get everything all the other stuff had. So, and you get a new adventure journal. So I'm curious, is it just blank pages in that journal, or does it actually have stuff in it? It's too bad it doesn't have the book from the Last Crusade. His dad's diary. That would have been really cool.
I'm a fan of this collector. I think it looks pretty good. It's not too bad.
Well, I know Eric's a day one buyer because it has a story DLC that he could get later once he's done with the game.
I don't have any device that will play this game.
That shouldn't stop you because you can still buy the DLC. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Just throw money at him, Eric.
Yeah.
Chris, are you interested in getting this, or how are you going to play it?
I'm still gonna wait.
You're going to wait
But
for PlayStation?
I'll probably be playing it on Xbox.
Okay.
I mean, it's a Game Pass game, so it's either going to be on my PC through Game Pass or it's going to be the Xbox Game Pass. But it's definitely one of those that I'm not completely sold on the first-person view for it. So I'm going to wait and see how it looks. But yeah, I noticed it's $35 if you want to upgrade it from the basic version to the premium edition.
Oh, that's very similar to what they did with Starfield too.
So if you don't pay the $99, you're going to pay more than you would have initially.
If you get it on PlayStation, you're going to be paying $70. Galaga Guy says it's coming to your cell phone and smart fridge mod in 2025. So
if I can play it on the Samsung fridge, I'm down.
Galaga Guy could probably put it on his. He's like modded up his arcade 1-ups to play all this stuff. So I want to see Galaga Guy play this on one of your arcade 1-ups, dude. That'd be awesome. But a lot of the Xbots are all upset. Phil Spencer said previously that there were only going to be 4 games coming to PlayStation, and they specifically asked him, was Indiana Jones going to be coming? And he said no. And turns out that was not the case. I pulled this new interview from him, and I think I have audio.
Going to the PlayStation announcement, obviously last spring, we launched 4 games, 2 of them on the Switch, 4 of them on PlayStation, and we said we're going to learn. We said we'd watch, and I think at Showcase I might have said from our learning we're going to do more. Mm-hmm. What I see when I look is our franchises are getting stronger. Our Xbox console players are as high this year as they've ever been.
I can hear it.
So I look at it.
Can you guys hear it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I look at it and I say, okay, our player numbers are going up for the console platform. Our franchises are as strong as they've ever been. And we run a business. Like, it's definitely true inside of Microsoft. The bar is high for us in terms of the delivery that we have to give back to the company, because we get a level of support from the company that's just amazing in what we're able to go do. So I look at this, how can we make our games as strong as possible? Our platform continues to grow, both on console, on PC, and on cloud. And I think it's just going to be a strategy that works for us. And the last thing I'll probably say is I think as an industry right now, there's a lot of pressure on the industry. It's been growing for a long time, and now people are looking for ways to grow. And I think that us as fans, as players of games, we just have to anticipate there's going to be more change in how some of the traditional ways that games were built and distributed. That's going to change. That's going to change for all of us. But the end result has to be better games that more people can play. If we're not focused on that, I think we're focused on the wrong things. So for us as Xbox, health of Xbox, health of our platform, and our growing games, most important.
So, first of all, let me just say, Phil is looking really tan. I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but he seems like he's like really tan. Maybe he's hitting the tanning booth in Seattle somewhere, or wherever Microsoft is. I don't know. But what do you guys think of that? Are you upset, or I think their strategy has been kind of a little convoluted lately?
Well, there was, I don't know if you'd seen, there was a leak of an email from Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella to Phil Spencer. And essentially it was like, we're a software company. We don't care about hardware. You need to sell more software. And so a lot of people are, because I mean, even that discussion he just had there, a lot of it sounded like a whole lot of PR speak.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you got someone above you, I'm sure they were probably like, it was probably more a case of pressure from above saying, hey, now that Sony and Nintendo are in talks to open up to Game Pass and cloud gaming and everything, you need to get the games on their systems as well.
Well, did you also hear that point? He said that this is the more people are playing Xbox now than ever before, and our franchises are more popular than they've ever been before. I have not seen any data to back that up. At least, I guess Microsoft doesn't share their sales numbers right now, but from everything
there's also the question of how big the pie is, right? If we're comparing it to Xbox from like 2004 to now, then yeah, there's a lot more people on Xbox than there were in 2004. But what percentage of that pie does Xbox represent now versus back then? I think that would be the more interesting metric, not just a sheer number, but like what percentage of gamers are actively playing the Xbox now. And he conspicuously did not mention those numbers, right? Which makes it sound like PR speak, like a spin, which only reinforces Chris's idea that, you know, somebody in the C-suite came down hard on his team and now he needs to sell copies of this game any way he can. So that means porting to all the platforms.
Well, and they've been all in on the Game Pass in the last few years. So it's like everything has to be Game Pass. And I mean, this year, Amazon announced with the Fire TVs, you can now play Xbox games through cloud gaming, as long as you have a Game Pass subscription. So it's kind of a, you know, how many people do have Game Pass is kind of probably what they're looking at and going, you know, hey, do this. If we can get these games out there on the PlayStation console. It's like the one that Ryan had posted the other day, which was Sea of Thieves. It sold 1 million copies on PlayStation 5. You know, that's
Good.
Not a small number of games to be played, bought on a different console. You know,
good payday for Microsoft there for sure. And you're going to be darn well sure this will be a good payday for them as well. So, you know, I'm definitely going to play the game for sure. And I'm looking forward to it. I don't really care what platform really it comes out on. I do want a good game, but I also want to see the health of Microsoft. I want them to do well. Like I'm kind of like Dathan. Like I'm invested in them. I've played them. I've been playing them for a long time. I guess we've been playing all these for a long time, but you don't want to see them go away. So hopefully long term, they continue to I think they've got some momentum right now. They have a lineup of games that's coming out that we can be excited for if they don't delay them, and wanna support these guys, but they got to deliver on everything. And you know, if they want to put it out on PlayStation and any other kind of platforms, I think that's cool. However you want to play.
Well, I mean, that's it's the weird fanboy console war that goes on still from time to time online. Is like, oh, I'm a Sony boy, I'm a Xbox, and it's like, you guys want to play the games, right? You don't just want the console for the purpose of having the console. So what does it matter what system it comes out on? If you can play the game from whichever studio you're excited for, whatever developer you follow, whoever you like, whatever the case may be, what does it matter what system it comes out on? If you want to play it on Xbox, play it on Xbox. Who cares what, the guy down the street's playing it on?
I would argue though, maybe you don't need an Xbox anymore, because if it's just going to get ported to PC and PlayStation 5, why, unless you're like Dathan, you really like that controller, I think probably if you get the PlayStation 5, you can play Spider-Man 2. They're not porting that to Xbox. So if I'm a kid right now, 10 years old, and I can only get one system, what system are you going to get? You're going to get a PlayStation 5.
PS Vita.
Or PSP Go.
That would be good. Yeah, saying spirits. We need both companies to compete with each other. Yeah, I agree. It's like Pepsi versus Coke.
I think the take where he's talking about how players or people, there's more people playing Xbox now than ever. It is kind of weird that comment was made, because I think stats need to be looked at year over year over year when comments are made like that, because obviously, when a Gears of War game comes out, it's always going to be more. We got more people playing Xbox right now. And then when there's a God of War or there's an Uncharted, there's more people playing PlayStation that are right now. So I think his views are very skewed when it comes to stuff like that, and where he's pulling all, like he said, where he's pulling all this data and where are these numbers from? Because he's just saying fluff at this point, is what it is.
Lies, damn lies, and statistics, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I mean, you can also say, hey, there's more people playing Sony PlayStation 5 than there were PlayStation 1 right now. So it's kind of there's more people playing games at this point in history than there was in the 1980s. So what is that? It's nonsense, because there's no comparison there.
Right.
When it was something that was just starting to come out. People were just starting to get into it, and the cost to enter into that area was so high at the time. But I can easily say the same thing, is like, there's more people out there playing Nintendo systems now than there was back in the 1980s on the NES.
It just seems to me that their message is just convoluted, and they're running their business by the seat of their pants. Like, all right, Sea of Thieves sold well, now we'll put Indiana Jones on there, and if that sells well, oh god, then we'll put Gears of War on there. And it's like, it just doesn't seem, I don't know. I can see that's why some of the fans are upset, is just, it's not concrete and you're giving mixed messages. So Game Pads equals Game Pass.
He's correcting his previous.
I did get to play this game. Moving on here. Let's talk about Xbox. There was a new update for Starfield, you guys, and this is the update that we've all been freaking waiting for. I don't know how many has played this, but
Dathan's gone black.
If you have, I believe it was, and I went back. It's like 25,000 credits Dathan, hopefully you're still there. If you have 25,000 credits, you can buy the car or the Rev 8. And holy moly, it's cool. So not only is there a gun on the top, but you can do like a lunar jump in the car. And this is like one of the main things. There he is.
There's only one vehicle. There's not vehicles, plural.
This is the only vehicle right now. I'm thinking there are going to be more vehicles. But this was a big complaint because in the past, if you wanted to go from point A to point B on a planet,
you had to walk. Yeah.
You had to walk. So now, not only did they add that, but they added better frame rates. You can go from, I think it was 30 frames per second before. Now I can do 60, or the one I'm using on my Series X, it says uncapped. It runs really smooth now. So I'm excited. I'm going to go through the Crimson Fleet missions. I need to get that achievement because when I played it previously, it glitched out on me and wouldn't let me finish the mission. And then there's going to be this expansion coming. I believe that was later next month. So anyway, I'm going to try to be playing this a little more. So the car is cool. I'm really excited they added that. Let's see. What else? A Gamescom.
There is another.
Meet that. We got some more Dune Awakening footage. And this one bummed me out a little bit because they say it's coming to PC only right now. Or it's going to come to console at a later date. They just haven't announced the date yet. But you get to pick your guy. It's like you land on Arrakis and you just got to deal with the elements. And then they'll just kind of throw you in there versus the sandworm. So, and we got a new subscriber to the channel. Thank you, Aman Kumar. Thank you, sir.
He's not doing the proper sand walk.
Yeah,
you're right. He's not doing the sand walk.
This is why he's going to get eaten by the worm.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do the up, down, left, right, A, B, start the Konami code or something.
And I don't remember there being bikes in the Dune.
No. There were no bikes in the movie as far as I knew. Right.
Because they had to fly everywhere, otherwise
It's the same problem as Starfield, though. If you start walking everywhere, it's just the game gets boring. So,
well, that's why you got to get your worm. You know?
Well, right.
And you ride the worm everywhere.
You better be able to ride the worm in this. Wouldn't that be disappointing if they don't have that in here?
Yeah.
I wonder if this is going to have the same problem as what Star Wars Galaxy had. Galaxy, whatever their MMOP was, because in that initial version of the game, everybody wanted to be a Jedi, right? And it was very difficult to actually become a Jedi. And then they realized that that's what the players wanted, so they made it easier and easier. And then everyone was Jedi. Everybody wants to be the Kwisatz Haderach. There's only one. I mean, how many players get to do that? How are they going to deal with that? That's my concern with this.
Yeah, good question.
It looks more like Funcom made the Conan MMO game. It's out there, Age of Conan, and this looks so much similar to that. And that's just got some janky like building going on with it. So I'm hoping maybe they fix some of the issues there.
Well, look at this. I like you can fly one of these things.
Well, it looks like you can build one.
Yeah.
So
is that what you meant, janky? The building construction in Conan?
Oh yeah, the building is just because you have to build your own base in it.
Yeah, you do in this also.
And it's even on PC, it's just really hard to like match everything up.
I like how it says if you hit B, you can exit vehicle. Does that mean you can jump out right when you're flying over something?
That's how you skydive onto the back of a worm.
That's cool. This almost looks like Mass Effect a little bit to me. I don't know. It does, but it doesn't.
Yeah, that color palette, maybe.
Yeah. So, but yeah, 2025 PC first. So maybe Travis will get to play it first because you're a resident PC gamer.
Anybody can join the club.
Yeah.
Except for Eric.
I'm uninvited.
Well, you could. You just won't.
I might.
Okay. Yeah, this might get you over there.
I mean, I've been a PC gamer for ages. It's just
I know.
Been a couple of years now that I don't have one.
It was hard to be one there for pandemic post. It was hard to build a good PC gaming.
Right.
You know, but
with
now,
all the shortages.
Now things have come back. Now everything's fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Dathan, are you there, buddy?
I actually was curious. How is Starfield?
I enjoyed it.
It's a good game. It's fun.
Yeah. I beat the game. Well, and I won't spoil it, but it's kind of like you can continue on after you die.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. It's probably out there at this point. So
no spoilers.
I'm up to level 45. I guess you get an achievement at level 50. So I'm definitely going to try to get that. But But you enjoyed the game though. It's fun. Like it's an action RPG sort of game. Yeah. Right. And now that the frame rate's much better and you got the vehicles, it's a good time to play right now.
Okay, cool. I'll keep that one in mind.
Did you see this trailer? Maybe Chris saw it. If he's paying attention.
We can get into our VHS collection, you know.
Dathan, did you see it?
So stupid. I hate this one.
Jeez, all right.
We'll like he's still here.
What in the world is this?
I'll skip ahead. Let's see. There we go. This is a really long-winded trailer. No one knew what the heck was going on.
Yeah.
And then
Goat Simulator.
Yeah, it's Goat Simulator.
Yeah.
Goat Simulator remastered.
Remastered.
There you go.
It's the game no one asked to be remastered. They're going to remaster it. They're going to remaster Goat Simulator 1. Okay.
Well, yeah.
No, I don't know, but it does the remaster no one asked for. It's like every game out there that's been remastered, I don't think anybody's asked for, and the ones they do ask for aren't being remastered.
Grim Fandango. I think that was
they
asked
didn't ask for that to be remastered.
I did.
Was it? Well, maybe it was because wasn't Double Fine doing Kickstarters to do the remastering, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So then maybe I guess it was. Yeah, I guess at that counts.
Did you guys see this one? This one looked cool. First person shooter set in that
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, old 1920s style. What's that one?
Rubber hose animation.
Yeah.
Well, that it's all public domain, right?
Chris, what's that game that's like that's really hard? That's this style.
Cuphead.
Yeah.
Oh, Cuphead. Yeah.
I don't even have to answer. Thank you.
You're welcome. My niece is real into Cuphead. She's good at it.
Cuphead is hard as hell.
She's beating it.
She's beating it.
And it's interesting because it's Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse that's public IP.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse himself isn't, so it's a very specific kind.
Only one Mickey Mouse flavor can you do whatever you want to with, huh?
Right.
But
so stupid. I hate this one.
Dathan, jeez.
It comes.
Come
and
back
goes.
when you're feeling better, brother. All right. Let's see. Oh, I know you guys wanted to talk about this one.
A special guest joining us next. I grew up playing his games, and many of you did too. Titles like Populous, Dungeon Keeper, Magic Carpet,
Dungeon
Theme
Keeper
Park,
he did too.
Black
I
and White,
love
and
Dungeon
Fable.
Keeper, dude.
And
Yeah,
tonight
Dungeon
he's
Keeper
here
was good.
to reveal his brand new game, which he's secretly been working on for the past 3 years. Please join me, Gamescom, in welcoming to ONL, Peter Molyneux.
That is a huge stage.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip ahead to his
The
game.
armor they fight with. There is a strategy behind every creation. I can even feed them rats. My town's
Nathan.
working hard to make that food. I can help out.
Is this a good game?
So stupid. I hate this one.
Not. I can also design, customize, and create all buildings.
There was
do
some
like
quote that Peter Molyneux said, like, he doesn't really care, like, if this game does very well or whatever, because he thinks he's gonna die in the next couple of years. Did you guys
Night
see
is
that?
coming. The sun is going down. And now my town
There he
needs
is,
defending against the
over-promising
horrors
and
of
under-delivering.
Heroes time
When
to
he's
shine.
alive in 10 years,
You
you're
don't
gonna call
have
him out
to
on
play
that?
God mode. At any
Yeah.
point, you can possess a character.
You
Is
said.
he sick or something? I know that the
Yeah,
guy
is he
who did
sick?
My hero
Hyperlight
is
Drifter,
now under
he's
my
got a
complete
chronic
control.
heart
And now
problem,
it's
so he
my
could
He,
go.
turn.
they said, he said something like he smokes every day and he drinks, and
Oh, he
it can't be
making
good
bad
for him.
decisions. Okay.
So he's got another
Yeah.
20 years
My
plus.
heroes
Yeah.
get overwhelmed.
Only the good
Let's
die
switch
young.
back to God mode.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
George Burns smoked cigars for years.
Yeah, that's right. He's gonna George Burns it.
So this
See,
is
and-
interesting. Because this looks like kind of what I was talking about before the show about Black and White. It kind of reminds me a bit of that, with the
Yeah.
you can help them or you don't have to sort of thing. But then now it looks like Fable.
Yeah, it's a God game that has a third-person view where you can take over like a hero.
Okay.
And
So
watching that, I'm kind of like, what would be the point of ever taking over the hero if you can have your God hand and like just burn the enemies or use a tornado or something? I'm like, that doesn't. I'd always be in the hand form.
in
Going
Black
around
and White, isn't that what you can do in Black and White as well, though? Am I
Mhm.
misremembering that?
I don't think you could do the third-person view where you take over a person, but you could pick up people and
Move them. Okay.
move them
I
around.
thought that you could take over, like you could possess them or whatnot to get certain things done. But I might be remembering something different. Maybe even Dungeon Keeper, but I don't think it was Dungeon Keeper though either.
Wow.
Dungeon Keeper, you have a hand.
You had a hand, yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe he promised you could do that in Black and White, and it was one of those things that you actually couldn't do once that you got the game.
Yeah, it's a typical Peter Molyneux.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and I'm going to tell you all about the cool things you'll be able to do. Like
Yeah.
if you play this game, you'll be able to resurrect the dead around your home in real life. It's going to be
That's
amazing.
right. In real life, it's going to be neat. But
You're going to love it.
Fable was good. Like he did overpromise on that too, but like in the 11th hour, he reneged on all of it and said, "Never mind, it's just going to be a straight up game." And it actually was a good straight up game, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, the original Fable was a fun game
Yeah.
to play.
Yeah, the first one. I don't think I tried Fable 2.
I think I went fully evil with the original Fable. She's like, "Would you help out
Oh,
these
yeah.
town people?" And I'm like, "No. Instead, I will kill them all." But
Anyway, was there any other games you think I missed, Chris, that were worth? Oh, I'm getting a little echo from one of you guys. Hello?
let's see, what else did they announce?
If not,
Well, there was. I don't know if you guys saw the Amazon TV show they announced.
Mm-mm.
It's from Blur Studios, the ones that all those amazing like cutscenes that you It's an anthology series, but it's going to be like there's going to be a God of War TV show.
Oh yeah.
So they're doing that kind of like Love, Death, and Robots that was on Netflix. So that might be an interesting thing. Comes out on December 10th.
Oh, okay.
And then of course some company has got the new Sims in Zoe. It's going to be a Sims competitor with lifelike simulation and realistic graphics.
No, thank you.
Because everybody wants to create their own little sim to control.
Sims was cool like 20 years ago. Maybe. Maybe.
They did talk about Civilization 7 during the thing, because I saw news about that, right? That it was going to be more user-friendly, kind of it was supposed to be a evolution, like more so than what we had seen in past Civilization updates. So I didn't see a lot of details other than just that it was going to be more beginner-friendly.
Yeah, I think so.
Which would be welcome, because Civilization 6 I felt was I felt like the UI in that was awful and like a big barrier for somebody who was just going to try to get into the game. I felt it was awful.
Really?
That was embarrassing.
Ryan's bringing him back.
I hate this.
All right. Did you guys want to get into? Did you guys want to talk about the resellers, or do you want to talk about the how we display our games first? Do you have a preference?
Nope, don't care.
Let's talk about the resellers, and we can get into how we display. But did you guys see Samantha Azir had a video this week? I think Chris, you saw it because I saw you comment on her video.
The "I'm part of the problem" video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know if you guys watch Gamer Aimer. I watched her video today, and she flat out thought that that resellers, there's nothing wrong with it, and buying old video games, I guess, you're gonna be buying from resellers. How do I want to even talk about this? Reselling video games, is it slimy?
You know what? Let me jump in here. Okay. So I think Eric can attest to my comments on this this topic.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime that you go to a gaming expo, a swap meet, you are buying from a reseller.
Yeah.
Period. You just are.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
There are a majority of the time, because they are there to make money. Period. They are there to I know a lot of them are there to meet people and all that stuff. And the best thing is, they're there to make, and the bottom line is to make money.
Right.
Now, there are some vendors that I wouldn't call them slimy resellers, what people have said in the past. But there are vendors that I will avoid every single year, that I have avoided from, that I remember seeing them from 2009 when I first started going to last year.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see these same people over and over.
We're not going to name any names, but I know.
Nope, we're not going to name any names.
Don't have to name any names.
Super glass case guys. Yeah. We're not gonna go there.
Yeah.
But there are vendors that like I won't have anything to do with them because of their prices. So would I say that, if you buy a game that you're part of the problem? I mean, not necessarily. Something is only worth something is is only worth what people are going to pay for.
You're gonna pay for it, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So if someone has a copy of Mario Brothers for $20 and someone pays it for $20, it's going to be worth $20. Everybody has their own different attitude when it comes to how people view what the term of reseller is.
Right.
You know, a good example is last year, I was looking for Power Blade 2 on the NES, and there was a vendor that had it for $1,400, and I bought it for half that price. I bought it for like $725 or somewhere in there. That's a vendor that I will never go to again. I will never step foot in his booth. If I see him at PRGE this next month, I will just keep on. I will walk right by. I won't even look at his shit, period. But any time that you go to a swap meet, anything, you are buying from a reseller, period. That's how I view it.
Yeah, I mean, they owned the game, and now they're reselling the game by definition of the word. As I understand the word in English, that's what that word means. They are reselling the game, which is the only way you can legally acquire it, as far as I can tell.
If you own something, you should be able to resell it. I get that.
Yeah.
But like, here's the thing: like reselling, there's reselling, and then you have people that scalp things and use bots and stuff. I guess this is where I more buy like modern stuff, and I don't buy too much of the old stuff. But I see people online that go after these consoles when they come out. I'm sure the new Nintendo Switch, when that comes out, they'll have these computer bots come out and just buy everything. And that's how the price goes up. And then little Johnny doesn't get one for Christmas because of these guys.
I think the real question here is this by design? So the Ticketmaster model of selling concert tickets is infuriating by design, right?
Right.
The artist wants to sell their tickets at a particular price, but they also don't want to piss off their fan base because they're dependent on their fan base. So they contract, aka hire, Ticketmaster to be the bad guy on their behalf, right? So Ticketmaster adds all these fees and whatever and inflates the cost of the ticket to what the artist actually wants to sell for, and everybody's quote unquote happy except for us, the little peon consumers, right? I don't know if the video game market is being manipulated in the same way. If it is, that's infuriating, right? If some conglomerate has enough bots to influence the price of new games to actually be something like $100 rather than $70, then yeah, that's bad for us, for most people, because the consumers are the majority of the people participating in the market. That's a net bad thing. But I don't know if that's what's happening.
The other thing, let me just say too, the other thing that also pisses me off when you go to these conventions, I'll see YouTubers there, and you're a big time YouTuber.
Do not get me started. Do not get me started.
No, let's talk about it. Look, they'll review a product. They're gonna send you something, check it out, make a video on it. Now it's yours. Do whatever you want with it. Then you just go. You'll see these guys at PRGE or wherever, and they're selling it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just seems slimy to me. I don't know, but maybe I'm jealous. But I don't know. Like,
next year you're going to be selling shit you got for free.
Well, here's the thing, though. I'm not. Like, eventually I'm going to have to sell all my stuff because I'm not taking it to my grave.
Yeah, sure.
But I feel like if I am going to sell it, I'm going to sell it all at once. Or maybe like just a couple, like I'm not going to piece it out one by one by one. It would take forever. Mm-hmm. I'm not a pawn shop. So, you know what? Like, I feel proud. Like, most of my stuff that I bought in my collection, I feel like I've paid fair market value, and I feel I have a good conscience about it. But
on the flip side, though, I've been to some game conventions where there were resellers there saying like, oh yeah, and I don't know how true this is. Maybe it's a sob story, but they're like, I'm in the middle of a divorce and I need to liquidate my my games collection, right? And then all of a sudden, instead of him being a reseller, like, we're the predators because we're like the vultures who are picking the carcass clean, right? It kind of goes both ways sometimes.
Yeah, they can do that.
Well, I think there's kind of two things going on here. There's a lack of information on the consumer side. So we have sites like price charting that have come along for consumers to be able to look at games.
Is it for consumers though? I think it's more for the resellers.
Anybody can use it. The problem is not understanding what it's doing. So what it does is it kind of goes out, looks at eBay or any of these online sites it can, and it looks at what people are selling items for.
Mm-hmm.
It does kind of have the feature in there to say, hey, in the last 90 days, this game has sold for this amount of money. But overall, it kind of shows you a price that is based on what somebody's listed it for.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of inflating the price because if somebody says, hey, I've got this copy of Earthbound on the original Super NES in box,
$500.
I think this thing is worth $1,500.
$2,100.
Yeah, or something. Yeah.
You know, and that's what they list on eBay. So somebody goes on the price chart and is like Earthbound, and they're like, oh, this thing's going for $15,000. I could go ahead and sell my copy for $14,000 at Portland Gaming Retro Expo or whatever. And you know, I might be able to sell it for that amount because there's going to be an uninformed consumer out there is going to look at it and be like, I've been looking for this game for a long time, and I got this much free cash, so I'll go ahead and buy it from you. And it's like, that game is available on digital for like $5. So
emulation, dude.
To kind of answer Cyan's question and to go circle back to what Dathan said, something's worth what someone's willing to pay for it. The market decides what is fair, economically speaking. That's what the market is for. That's what markets do. Like, morally speaking, that's up to you and your God, right? But markets are designed to clear product at whatever price they can. That is the fair price, whatever someone pays for it.
But if you get yourself enough knowledge, then you're going to have a better idea of what you should be looking at.
That's why you take Dathan with you to the games conventions, because he knows everything.
So that when he spends more money, I can be like, well, I could have gotten that for $100 less. But hey, that's cool. So I don't think resellers are necessarily the issue. The issue out there is the people taking advantage of a lack of knowledge from consumers, as well as, there are people out there who are scalping. They go to Best Buy and they're like, oh, I can go ahead. There's no limit on how many copies of this game I can buy, but I know Best Buy is going to have only so many copies. So if I buy all those and somebody wants a copy, they're going to have to come to me and I can charge them way more than I paid. And so it's kind of, I think the responsibility is on consumers as well as it is on scummy resellers not to. If you see something that doesn't look like it's a fair market value, don't buy it.
Well, yeah, there's no one stopping the resellers from doing that. If you're the consumer, I think the power is in your hands. Like, if it's like same thing if you're at the grocery store and you think some kind of the way they farm their chickens is weird, you don't have to buy it. Or you don't have to buy their eggs.
Or like when game companies overpromise and underdeliver for the millionth time, and we decide collectively to stop pre-ordering games, and yet here we are pre-ordering games still. Like, I wanted to bring that up when we were talking about the Great Circle, but
I just think it's not a black and white issue. Like, so the one video that I watched today, like, she's talking about, well, it's completely fair exactly what they're doing, and like, if you want to buy something, you're buying from a reseller. Well, you don't have to buy from everybody. So anyway, I think you're right, Chris. Do your research. And you don't have to buy anything you don't want to buy.
Or don't, and be prepared to overspend on things.
Nostalgia is a really powerful drug.
Yeah, but it's a perfectly valid.
Well, so is fear of missing out, right? And that's what happens at the console stuff, right? So what happens at the reseller aspect of the scalping, right, is people who suffer from fear of missing out. They're the ones who suffer from the scalpers, because something comes out, and let's say like the Nintendo Switch. We'll use that as an example, even though who knows. But any console comes out, the biggest risk that a business has to take is inventory management, right? Because warehouse space takes room. The last thing you want is to be stuck with something you can't sell. And that's money on the books that you have to report to shareholders at the end of the quarter saying, we had X amount that we didn't sell that is sitting in a warehouse and we're paying lease money on this.
Right.
We can't move it. So what they get out of this is they get a bunch of hype, and they can manufacture enough that they know will sell, and they can sell it all on day one and basically make everything now a special order. So once that initial launch inventory is gone, and now there's an increase in demand on top of that, because people's fear of missing out and their demand, now all of a sudden it becomes a game for us, the consumer. And we're sitting there watching just everything. Okay, did Best Buy get stocked this morning? Did it this week? When are they dropping? Are they getting it Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday? Am I going to show up? And you've always got people that are there, so the minute that it hits, they buy one of two. So Sony or Nintendo's never in a spot where they've got excess inventory for the first year of a console release necessarily, right? And then on top of that, the it's going on eBay for so much more than it's worth creates a demand that may not have existed before in people that didn't know they wanted it, because all of a sudden now they want it because they've heard about how hard it is to get, that if they happen to stumble upon something, they're going to get it just because they now have that opportunity to get something. So at the end of the day, and this is probably happening in the same way at the collectible level, from what I'm listening to from you, Dathan, like that scarcity and that fear of missing out sort of thing, that becomes a thing where somebody can kind of take you behind the shed there and charge you whatever they want and what you're going to pay, right? Because all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's the one thing that I've been looking for, I'm going to get that. And it is a problem, and Ticketmaster, obviously they are taking advantage of this thing too, right? And it is a human condition. I don't know how we get that out of us, because I'm just as guilty of suffering from it as anybody else when it comes to a hobby, And YouTube, yes, feeds into it, because now we watch infomercials just for fun.
Yeah.
I think Chris said it best when, it's important for the consumer to be educated and know what they are going to be walking into, and
educated and regulated too. You got to regulate your emotions.
That's what I was going to say. Is it's that primal desire to hunt and gather that we have that makes that education worthless.
Right.
Because we still see that diamond in the rough, right? And we're like, okay, let's sneak up on it and let's get it. And even if it's beyond what we know is a reasonable to pay for it.
Well, and it's interesting to San's point about the console scalpers this gen being the worst. When the PlayStation 5 first came out, I remember reading a lot of interviews with people who had bought boxes off of eBay, thinking they were buying the system.
Right.
But in the description, it was like, this is only the box for the system.
So that's buying ability.
Yeah, because people were clicking on whatever, right?
There's a reading comprehension people have. They want it. They want the immediate convenience, and I found this at such a great deal. $200 for a PlayStation 5, that they don't read everything.
Sure,
it's because they get tunnel vision.
Yeah.
So focused on one thing, on something.
Well, it's a great price. Click the button.
Too.
Gotta get faster than the next guy.
But like, I accidentally bought a 3090 or 3080 when I was trying to buy a 40 series NVIDIA card, because I was so fatigued from trying to find one that when I did see one pop up, my brain just glanced over that it was a 3080, because who'd seen those in whatever, and I misread it as 4080 and was like, oh, that's what I want to grab. So I made it all the way to the cart, bought it, and then had to cancel the order when I actually saw the receipt. Luckily, I didn't just walk away and go, okay, that's it. Wow, I got one finally, like that sort of a thing. So I think that people can get just fatigued on it, and I think that's what's happening with eBay. Is it would pop up and they'd go, oh, I better grab it before somebody else does, and then they'd buy it without reading the description, just assuming people are doing the right thing, which is always a bad assumption. and then that's where they end up with a box, and that's unfortunate. People are jerks like that.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's kind of no different than people that have reproduction carts at gaming expos and stuff like that. And I think PRGE they banned all that stuff. There's no repros or anything like that anymore.
What are those?
You can fake.
They're
some
fake
of
carts. I think there's like reproduction ones are like stadium events. It's the rarest. One of the rarest NES games, and they'll basically take a ROM of it, put it on the circuit board, and take the Nintendo clamshells, put it together, put a sticker on it, and say that it's.
So it's just counterfeit then.
It's exactly. It's just counterfeit.
Wow.
But,
you gotta be careful.
Yeah, and there are I shouldn't say reproductions, but there are some games that didn't come out on NES that came out overseas, like Sweet Home, and I think there's a firefighting game for Super Nintendo. You'll find those at PRGE because those aren't really reproductions as more as they weren't available, but they put them on the cart so that you could play them honestly on your systems.
Some of that I don't know exactly how they police all of that, because there's going to be thousands of games there.
Sure.
I bet some of these resellers don't even know what they have, possibly.
You've got to be educated, and you've got to know what to look for. And when I'm buying games that are expensive, I have tools to open up the game and know exactly what to look for on a circuit board.
Okay. So you can get right into it and really take a look if they'll let you. Interesting.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's just condition of buying, right? It's like with cards, with collectible cards, it's like people get them graded and officially, graded that way. I didn't know if they had such a thing for you when you're at the gaming expos.
Yeah, like who would buy a graded copy of Star? What's
Star
that
Tropic?
Game? Star Tropic.
Is that
That's
right?
Crazy, right?
So they do have grading certificates then.
It's like I don't think anyone on this panel would have bought that, but
no, that's insanity.
You guys are my favorite people.
I just want to say too, like, this is it's a good topic because we're going to be going into these cons, and a lot of that stuff's going to be right there for us. I also want to say too, like, I really do appreciate like small business, and if you're gonna like make something, like some of these people are just like, you're gonna make a game, or maybe you're making like a trinket or something from hand. You're producing that, you're using your labor to make it, and you're gonna put it out there and you're gonna sell it. I think that is amazing, and that is for me, like the American dream, seeing that, and I want to support that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not exactly black and white, and you got to be knowledgeable. So you guys are the knowledge base. I'm glad I can hook up with you guys there, and we'll maybe we can do some damage. If
a little bit though to the opposite of what you were saying there, Ryan, is that we have 2 local computer shops here that basically use that as an excuse to be in the scalping game. And I've called them out on that. Like I've seen that they have, like, when the video cards were in demand, they had them, and they got lucky and they got them. But then they're sitting on their shelf for $4,000 or $3,000, and it was like, why are you doing that? That's not right. And the guy was like, look, man, times are hard, and I'm a local business owner. How am I going to compete with Best Buy if I can't do this? And it was like,
you gotta
just lower price, maybe.
You gotta find where supply. Yeah. If you price your item too high and no one buys it, that's on you.
Yeah.
So
well, people
you're
were
eventually
buying
gonna have to bring it down.
People were buying it because he was just flipping it out on eBay or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But he had it locally out here in the Portland area, and was just flipping them on there, and then he'd throw them on Craigslist as well, because you'd see him pop up on Craigslist, and he didn't tie those one to his business name necessarily, but they were all in the same same area when you looked on the map, as to where they all were. I just thought I thought that was a lame excuse to be like, hey, I'm a small business owner, like this is what I've got to do to compete. And it was like, gosh, you're no better than a scalper at this point. At least Best Buy, that was kind of my comment to him is, well, at least Best Buy's not scalping me with this stuff. They either have the stock or they don't. The price is the same, right? It's at MSRP.
Yep. Anyway, good topic.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Anyway, do you guys want to move on to what's the best way to display games for Eric here?
Yeah, let me, if you want to embiggen me for a second, right?
Yeah, let's see.
I can show you what I've been up to.
We embiggened you.
You're just tricking us to look at your kidneys again.
Oh God, not again!
I added these DVD racks to hold my Wii games and stuff.
I like it.
Switch.
I like it.
And then I added a couple of video game controller, holders on the wall. But it won't hold my 64 because it's got that third, center grip. So my first question is, do you mount your 64 controller to the wall? And if you do, how?
Etsy. Look on Etsy.
Yeah, but all those are like cheap looking 3D printed stuff.
So what I have over, let me see if I can. We're gonna go on a road trip.
Your cheap 3D printed stuff.
Let's see.
Road tripping. So I got can you see those?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I got those.
I like
That's
that.
like what I
controller.
have. Yeah.
Those, and they're basically just the 3D printed ones, and you can either screw them into the back of a wall or you can use the 3M tape on them, and they've been up there for 5 years. They haven't come down or anything like that.
Okay. But that won't work with the 64 because it's got that center grip.
No, there's companies out there or people that will make them just like that to fit the 64.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think I got all three of those for $5 total.
Nice.
So
that's not bad.
There's a wall mounting. It's 3D printed, but it's for the N64 where the memory card slot is at. So you mount it by the memory card that goes on it. So it's on Amazon for $10, but it's obviously 3D printed. So if you have a 3D printer, you can probably do it for 25 cents.
Chris, do you still have your 3D printer?
No, they all broke.
Oh, they broke.
Yeah. I've been looking at getting a bamboo 3D printer, but it's $1,000 for that one.
So yeah, my next question, if you want to embiggen me again, so I can point. So I have these 64 games that they don't have a label on the top, right? So you can't like lay them flat, facing up, like I do with my Nintendo games, to see like the labels on the outside. The 64 games don't have that, so
you can get new labels printed.
Do we need to take another? Road trip?
Yeah, let's road trip it.
Road trip in time. We're going back. So again, Etsy, custom labels.
Oh, really?
On everything, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And these I think were $15 for an entire set of 296. Yeah. Yes.
And do they come off easy?
Yep. So if you put them on the first time and it's not lined up right, you can take them off and then reattach them.
Okay.
And they fit on there perfect. That's one of the biggest gripes about the Nintendo 64 when it came out was one, no Metroid and no labels on their games.
Yeah. Okay. So that's not bad. And okay, another problem I've run into is my Atari collection, which isn't in this room, but that's the thing, it's not in this room. Like I don't know where I would put it, how I would mount it, what I would do with the games. I've got like 50 Atari games. Like what's the solution for? But Atari might be too old for anybody to really care.
Get rid of all the Atari games except ET.
I still have my copy of ET. Absolutely.
That's right. And then that's all you need to display. Put it in a shadow box and mount it over there next to the speaker.
Now, do you have the Atari games in the original boxes, or are they out of boxes?
No, they're just loose, right? All just the plastic cartridges loose.
So
I don't even remember what Atari games look like.
I've seen people that
They're just a little black thing.
They're not all the same size either, right? Because like Vanguard has a weird shape to it. And
yeah, people have used old cassette decks to hold just single cartridge games.
Oh yeah,
I know they did
look
for
like
Sega
8-tracks.
Yeah, for Sega Genesis games. I don't know if I think that the Atari games are too big for those. I think. But I've seen that done where people will get cassette tape holders, and I think you fit a 50 or 100 or whatever, and they mount those on the wall, and then you can slide them in that way.
Dude,
if they're the father, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if they're the size of 8-tracks, you can actually find 8-track holders from back in the day that you could maybe use to. I mean, it just in the picture, it looked like they were the size of like old school 8-track cassettes.
They're a little smaller than that, but yeah.
Oh, they are? Okay, then it probably wouldn't work for you then. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I have never really seen at PRGE a good way to display Atari games. They're just in the tubs, and then you just go through. And they're always kind of weird because they all different sizes, different labels, and everything. Always, it's that's a tough question.
The only thing that's like uniform is the way that they interface with the Atari itself.
Right.
So, yeah, I haven't seen anything online that's particularly compelling, and it would probably have to be wall mounted because I don't have any floor space really where I could put it in here. So, yeah, some wall mounted like Atari deck and then the supplemental video game wall mounted stuff. I haven't really seen anything online that solves that problem.
You could look on Amazon for the Atlantic Media shelving units. Those come in all different sizes, and then you're usually able to, you can stack them both different ways, and you can put stuff behind it so it's not pushed all the way back. I know people have done, they put VHS tapes, facing forward, and then they can push them in that way because they're not facing too far back, so you can't read the labels and stuff.
Did you say VHS tapes?
No, we can get into our VHS porno collection,
Here, let me ask ChatGPT how you would display it.
It's gonna try and sell you furniture.
But you want it well mounted. You want it wall mounted, right, Eric?
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of Atari 2600 cartridge holders, but not wall mounted.
I mean, there's like one place in here I could put another shelf, but I don't know if I want to put it right underneath the projector screen.
I'm surprised that Etsy doesn't, because Etsy is popping up, to Dathan's point, like with a lot of things for you, but they seem like they're all meant to like sit, vertical storage, but like on your table or whatnot.
Yeah.
Which is weird because all they'd have to do is put some screw holes in. Oh, actually, this one here would hold 24 cartridges, and it does have screws in the back for you to wall mount it. But it says Atari 400/800 game storage, so not what you're looking for.
A 2600 guy.
I know.
I have my father built a. This is back in 1982 or something. My father built like a wood by hand storage unit case for my Atari 2600, and I still have all the games. And then Atari released a couple new ones recently. I even threw them in there, so there's still room for that. So,
nice.
But if I had useful man skills, I would do the same thing. But
yeah, right. That was back in the day. Like there was no eBay. Yeah, if you wanted to have something to store your games in, you had to make it.
Yeah.
ChatGPT says simple nails or screws.
I'll start drilling holes in them so I can get the screws in.
Yeah, that's right.
Keep it simple, stupid. Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Pegboard system's another one it recommends.
Yeah, pegboard on the ceiling, maybe.
I do like the some of the art on the 2600 games. There's like someone made an art book a couple years ago of some of the
really
the poster art for some of the Atari games is really cool.
Huh.
It's Bitmap Games, I think, is one that did it. They did like the Sega Master System. I have a couple of them. They did like the NES, Super Nintendo. Really, really good books.
But yeah, I don't know. Some of those Atari 2600 games, like they'll have them at PRG or whatever, and they'll have them like in a really crusty old Tupperware bin that like's been outside for a couple weeks, and I don't know, or it's been sitting in your garage and just reeks of mold and whew. Hopefully, well, some of these guys there hope they take showers too when they come, and I guess that's another story.
Well, there's another one here that says Velcro on the back of the Atari 2600. You know, mount a piece of Velcro on your wall, and then you can just stick it.
I wouldn't want to put a piece of Velcro on the cartridge, though.
Etsy's got one for you, Eric, for $13.78.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
16 cartridges, that one there. I mean, it is just 3D printed, right? But it would work for what you want to do. The solution doesn't need to be pretty in this case because your cartridges are going to be kind of
mostly the
eye candy, right? So that would work because you just mount that to your wall. Yeah,
I gotta figure out how many carts I have. I probably need 2 of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'd be a little embarrassing if you got something like this and you only had like 6.
No, I've got lots.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so that would work for you.
Anything else you guys want to talk about before we go?
I will not be attending next week. I will be at PAX.
Well, I will be here, and I will be at PAX.
I will not be at PAX.
What?
Yep, not this year. But I am going to go to Portland Retro Gaming Expo. So,
as you should.
Okay. No, Dathan. So are you gonna be there the whole weekend, or what's going on?
I am leaving on Thursday. I'm taking my niece and nephew to an arcade up in West Seattle. And then I will be attending the show on Friday and Saturday, and then coming back on Sunday.
Nice. If you're going on Friday, Phil Spencer is gonna do some kind of presentation, or I don't know, or interview or something. That would be what I'd be interested in going to on Friday.
Yeah, I saw that. I think it's I think it's at 10 a.m. I think right when they open the show.
That is early. Damn.
Super right for very first thing.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be there on Saturday for sure, and I'll talk about it more on Friday if you wanted to be in the chat. But Nintendo's gonna be there. They're gonna be showing off the Zelda game and the new Mario Party game. And it looks like Nintendo World Championships for some reason. Maybe it's because that's a fresh game for them. And
Astrobot's going to be there.
Yeah, Astrobot. I know Chris doesn't like that game or whatever, but that might be game of the year. We haven't talked about what you guys think the game of the year is going to be. That's going to be a good topic for later on in the next couple months. But I bet you Astrobot will be up there. I'm already calling it right now. It might not win, but it's that's going to be. If you're a PlayStation 5 owner, like, you can't wait till Indiana Jones comes. That's going to be next year. So, Astrobot, what's the better game on PlayStation this year? I don't know. It's going to be that.
Black Myth Wukong.
I heard. Well, weren't there problems on the console version of that? I think everyone's playing it on Steam.
I don't know. I haven't had any problems with it, other than the fact that when we first started it, the first profile that played it you could choose what language you wanted in, and then any other profile, it was automatically Chinese.
Yeah.
And so there's issues there where people are like having to go through and figure out how to go through the Chinese menu in order to get it to English if you're not the initial profile. And even if you deleted your save file on the initial profile, it's still saved as though there's only one English speaker in the house and everybody else speaks Chinese, reads it, and everything. So that was a fun adventure.
Dathan, who did you pre-order Star Wars Outlaws from?
I didn't pre-order it yet because I was on the fence about doing the subscription service, but then I thought, I don't know yet. Maybe I'll just buy it outright. So I'm still kind of debating on what I want to do because, as we've talked about on the show in the past, how Ubisoft puts their games on sale 7 hours after they go on sale, pretty much, and so I'm still kind of we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited to hear your take on that. I might be getting it early. I don't know yet. We'll see.
A week later, it will be $20.
Exactly.
You can get that Prince of Persia game for a pretty good deal right now. If anyone hasn't gotten it.
Yeah, which one?
Was it
Lost
Crown?
Crown?
Lost Crown. Yeah.
Lost Crown? Okay, cool.
Something with Crown.
Oh, yeah. And that was good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Leakreen says Black Myth is a breath of fresh air, not a perfect game, but very solid and deserves the success it has had so far.
Yeah, they've only sold 10 million copies in 3 days.
Yeah, but how many of those were in China?
Well, China doesn't exist, so you know.
Okay. Don't tell that to China.
No. That's
American bastard.
What an ugly thing to say.
All right. I guess with that, we'll end the show. Thanks for coming on, everybody. We really appreciate you. Really good discussion today. I really appreciated some of your guys' takes on the reselling, evil reselling.
I want to touch up on that topic again after we go to PRGE that following Friday. I want to touch up on that.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, too, I want to go in. I want to have fun at these events, and I don't want to dwell. I think, Chris, when we went to the swap meet earlier this year, like after we left, like I kind of felt sick to my stomach about where prices were on things, and like I can't afford this stuff. Like it wasn't fun. But like if you guys are there, we meet up, we play like pinball and other games, like have a good time. That's what I kind of want to do. And like if we see something cool, like and if we find a good deal, that's great too. But I want to go in having a good time, and that's kind of the mindset I want to have. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but don't let other people rain on your parade.
That was Side Quest Expo, right?
Yeah, the Side Quest Expo.
Yeah, that used to be fun.
Well, and I think part of the problem too was it was just the two of us that went to it, and it's like,
can you imagine just going with this guy? Yeah,
yeah, my VHS porn collection, walking in, and I'm just like, does anybody want to buy one of these?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But no, the one thing I did come out of that side quest that I was kind of grateful for was I got Advanced Warfare 1 and 2, or Advanced Wars 1 and 2 on the Switch for $40, and it was still like $59.99, I think, brand new. So
hey, Steps Gaming's here.
I mean, there were certainly some booths that it's like people were there to make deals and do things, and then there were quite a few that were just they had no prices, and they're like, "Oh, let me check out price charting."
They wanted to check everything on price charting. Yeah,
that's another discussion for after the expo as well.
Steps Gaming is apparently coming to PRGE, so
nice.
We'll see you there. Like I think you're gonna be running a booth or something. So yeah, that'll be cool. I don't know. Should be good. There should be some Stern pinball there, so we'll play some pinball. Anyway, I think we're gonna end it. It's been an hour and 30 minutes. I appreciate you guys. Everyone, go check out Ace of Jack's Media Grounds channel. Go watch his. I don't know what you call it, a review.
Twilight review.
Yeah, Twilight.
It's a
experience.
Let's watch Twilight together.
Yeah, watch Twilight. Everyone check out Dathan's Instagram, 8-Bit Gaming Legend. And of course, we have the man, Eric, and Travis, our PC expert. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
And give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel. I'm getting to 1,000. I'm going to try to do a video on my Duchess.
Nice.
Hopefully soon. So keep an eye out for that. And we'll see you next time, guys.